Students, today we are discussing about the topic that is the 3-bit asynchronous up counter. In last lecture we have studied about the counters, in which we have seen that basically counters are used to count the pulses. So that are the counters, in which we also have seen the types of the counters, and mainly two types are here. First one is the asynchronous counter and second one is the synchronous counter, and we have studied it detail. But again today, before we start our this topic, first of all we will see that what is the asynchronous counter. So basically the asynchronous counter is the such type of counter in which a clock pulse is applied to the first flip-flop. The clock pulse that is applied to all the flip-flops that are present in that counter is not the same for all the flip-flops. The clock pulse is applied only to the first one flip-flop, and the output of the first flip-flop, it becomes the clock signal of the second flip-flop. Then again the output of the second flip-flop, it becomes the clock signal of the third flip-flop, and so on. That there will be a chain of it. So that is basically a asynchronous counter. In asynchronous counters, the output of one counter stage is connected directly to the clock input of the next counter stage, and so on along the chain. That it means it continues further. Now because of this, that the clock pulse that is applied to the first flip-flop and the output will becomes the clock signal of the other flip-flop, there is a delay for the data to be received at the other side. That there is a delay which is known as the propagation delay. And why this is? Because it is because the timing signal that we are having, it is delayed, because the clock pulse that is applied to all the flip-flops is not same. Because of that there is a delay, and that is known as the propagation delay. The result of this is that the asynchronous counter suffers from what is known as propagation delay, in which the timing signal is delayed a fraction through each flip-flop. Asynchronous counters are sometimes called the ripples counter, because the data appears to ripple from the output of one flip-flop to the input of the next. So that's why it is known as the ripple counter. The second name for the asynchronous counter is also ripple counter, because the data that is present in that, sometimes it ripples. What is meant by ripple? It means that in the form of waveform. So it is because from the output of the flip-flop to the input of the next. So this is about the asynchronous counter. So now we will discuss about the today's topic, and that is about the 3-bit asynchronous up counter. So here we have studied about the asynchronous counter. Now two things are here. First one is the 3-bit and second one is the up counter. What is, so first we will see that what is meant by the up counter. So basically here we are doing the counting from lower to higher. That is, we are counting here from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That it is counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on. So that is meant by the up counter. Now comes towards this thing. What is meant by the 3-bit? Now here we are having the combination 0, 0, 0. It means that it is basically the 3-bit. So you see, when we are having 0, 0, 0, so basically there are the combinations from 0 to 7. That is, 0 is 0, 0, 0, 1 is 0, 0, 1, 2 is 0, 1, 0, then 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1, 1. That is the 7. In decimal we say this the 7. So basically 3-bit is this, where we are counting from 0 to 7. And when we are saying the 3-bit up counter, then it means we are counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 7. So that is the 3-bit up counter, and when there is the word asynchronous, then it means we are using such type of counter in which the clock pulse is not same for all the flip-flops. So that is basically about the today's topic, 3-bit asynchronous up counter. So in asynchronous counter, a clock pulse that derives the FF0. Now see what is the, we are having the, here you see we are having the 3 flip-flops. Why we are having the 3 flip-flops? Because it is the 3-bit counter. So that's why we are having the 3 flip-flops. The first one, and here you see that we are using the JK flip-flop. So here this is the FF0, this is FF1, and this is FF2. So 3 flip-flops are here. The output of FF0 is Q0, while the output of FF1 is Q1, and the output of FF2 is Q2. And here we are having the clock signal here, and the output is applied as the clock of the next flip-flop. So that is basically, here we are having the 3 flip-flops. So in asynchronous counter, a clock pulse that derives FF0. You see, at FF0 we have given the clock pulse. Output of FF0 derives FF1, which then drives the FF2 flip-flop. All J and K inputs are connected to logic 1. Now here you see the J and K, and here again J and K, all 3 JK inputs that are applied to the high input. And what is meant by high? It means that at J we are having 1 and at K we are having 1. Why we are having 1 1 at both inputs? Because we need toggling here. When we need toggling here, so then we have to give the input of J at J and K inputs is 1. So at here we are having 1, here we are having 1. At the second flip-flop FF1, 1 and 1, and at FF2 J is 1 and K is also 1. And this is the clock pulse that is applied here. And one more thing, that is, it is the negative edge triggered flip-flop. It means that the transition occurs, or you may say that the state will change when there will be the falling edge. Here you see this is the falling edge, this is the falling edge, this is the falling edge, and how many clocks are here? You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We are taking 8 clocks here. And now we will see that what will happen at the first one flip-flop, that is FF0. Then what will be the output of the FF1 and what will be the output of the FF2. Means that we will discuss Q0, Q1 and Q2. The outputs are these. So all J and K inputs are connected to logic 1. Therefore each flip-flop will toggle with negative transition at its clock input. It is the same thing that I have told before, that basically it is the negative edge triggered flip-flop. That is, the transition or the state will be changed when there will be the falling edge. So here what will be the mod of it? As it is the 3-bit, so 2 raised to the power 3, that will be the 8. So the mod will be 8. So the 3-bit mod 8 asynchronous counter, it consists of basically 3 JK flip-flop. Overall propagation delay, what will be the, that will be the sum of the individual delays, that is the delay of the first one flip-flop, then the second one, and then the third one. So when we sum up all these delays, then that will be the overall propagation delay. So now let's we will discuss about the timing diagram. So initially we say that all the flip-flops are reset, that is, it means that they are producing 0. So the output condition at the first, we say initially the output will be 0, means at Q0 we will have 0, at Q1 the output is 0, and at Q2 the output is 0. So now we see what will happen here at this clock pulse. Before doing this, one more thing that you must consider, that is the output here, the Q0, that is the LSB. that will be the least significant bit that we are counting. We are making a up counter here. We, as I have told you, that there will be the 000, then 001, and in that case the Q0 will be the least significant bit, while the Q2 will be the most significant bit. It will be the MSB and Q1 will be in the middle one. Let's suppose that we are having 010. In this case, the left 0 will be the output Q0 and the right 0 will be the output Q2. So this thing you must consider during this analysis. So now, as we said that initially the flip-flops are in the reset states. So it means initially the Q0 is, the output Q0 is 0, and it will change. Where it will change? It will change at the falling edge. And where is the falling edge? One mistake is here. Basically it is the positively edge triggered, because see this, when it will be the negatively edge triggered, then there will be a bubble here, and here no bubble is present, so it is the positively edge triggered. So this was by mistake it was done here, but we can also solve it by using the positively edge triggered. So always remember this, when it is negatively edge triggered, then there must be a bubble here. And for negatively edge triggering, know this, the transition or the state will be changed at the falling edge. But when it is the positively edge triggered, then the transition or the state will be changed at the rising edge. So we are now considering the Q0. So Q0 here, initially we said that the all outputs are at the reset state, that is they are at the 0 state. So now see, here it is the rising edge at clock 1. So it means here the state will be changed for Q0. That's why the state is changing here. Now the other rising edge is here. This is the rising edge of the clock 2. So here it is again changing. Now it is going to 0 as the toggling is occurring. Now in this case here, this is the rising edge of the clock 3. So again transition is occurring here. The state is changing here. The next state is here, we are having the 1. Now again here we are having the rising edge. So here the state is changing. Now there is the rising edge, so state is changing. Here the rising edge, so again state is changing. The rising edge is here, so again state is changing. And here the rising edge, so again the state is changing here. So this is the output for the timing diagram for the Q0. Now we will discuss the timing diagram for the Q1, the output of the second flip-flop. Now you see this, as we have said that there will be in the reset state. So one thing that you must notice here, that here we are taking the output that is the complement of the first one flip-flop. So now here we are having the negative edge triggering. Instead of making a bubble here and taking the output from Q0, we are taking the output from the Q0 complement. So that is making it the negative edge triggering. So now in this case, the clock for Q1 will be the Q0, and when the falling edge is here, then the transition will occur. So first of all, as it is in the reset state, so it will be the 0. So when this is the falling edge here, so transition will occur here. So here the transition is occurring. Again falling edge is here, so again transition is occurring here. Falling edge is here, so again transition is occurring, and here the falling edge, so again transition is occurring. So this is the timing diagram for Q1. Now for Q2, the clock pulse is Q1, and again you see this, the clock pulse is the Q1 complement. So it means again negative edge triggering is here, that is the at falling edge the transition will be occurred. So now you see this, the falling edge of Q1 is this, and as we said the Q2 is in the reset state, so initially it will be 0. So When transition is here, then toggling occurs. So from 0 to 1, and here the next falling edge. So the next transition will be here. So now see one thing, that the clocks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and when it comes 8, then again reset state for all the outputs. Here we are having 0, at Q1 we are having 0, so at Q2 we are having 0. That from 0 to 7 we are having the up counter, that is we are having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and when there comes the 8th clock, then what will be happen? The happening is this here, that again all the outputs becomes the reset. Now we will see, this is basically the timing diagram for this. Now we will see that how the up counter is here, how it is counting in the upper part, that is from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So now we will see this. So now for this we will check out the truth table. So first of all, when the clock state is 0, you see, when the clock state is 0, this is 0, so Q0 is 0, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 0. So Q0 is 0, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 0 here. Now we will see when the counter state is 1. So see this, when here is 1, when it is 1, then Q0 is 1, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 0. So see this, here the Q0 is 1, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 0. Now see, when there is 2, then what will happen? So when there is 2, Q0 is 0, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 0. So Q0 is 0, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 0. So this is 0, 0, 0, that is equal to 0, 0, 0, 1, that is equal to 1, 0, 1, 0, that is equal to 2. Now for the counter state 3, now we see what will be here. So for 3, you see, Q0 is 1, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 0. Q0 is 1, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 0. So 0, 1, 1, that is equal to 3. So when counter state is 4, so see here, when it is 4, Q0 is 0, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 1. So Q0 is 0, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is equal to 1, that is equal to 4. Now when the counter state, or you may say when the clock is 5, then what? Here you see, when it is 5, then Q0 is 1, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 1. So we are having Q0 is 1, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 1, that is equal to the decimal 5. Now when we are having 6 clock pulse, so at 6, Q0 is 0, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 1. So here you see, Q0 is 0, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 1, that is equal to 6. Now for 7, what we are having? For 7, Q0 is 1, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 1. So see this, for 7, Q0 is 1, Q1 is 1, and Q2 is 1, that is equal to 7. Now you see, when we are having the 8th clock pulse, 8 counter state, then Q0 is 0, Q1 is 0, and Q2 is 0. So again now reset state is here. So now it will count again from 0 to 7. So basically it is the 3-bit counter. So it will count from 0 to 7. And when there will be the 8th clock, then the again reset state will be here. In the next 2 slides, all these things have been mentioned here that I have discussed in detail about this diagram. So you simply study this, and then you will see that how the 3-bit asynchronous up counter will occur. So this was all about the 3-bit asynchronous counter. So read it carefully, and if you have any question or query regarding this, then you may ask it from me during the question answer session. Thank you.